Today's session's all about getting uncomfortable, and I'm going to tell you a story. But what I do need to do first, I've got to take my shoes off. Not to show my socks off, but I always said that the very first time that I ever got a keynote, I was going to continue this pattern. And what my shoes do, they sit on the side of the stage and they recognise everyone that's inspired me in the past, including my very first PE teacher, Dale Constable, who was a surfer, and he would always come to school in bare feet, dust off the sand because he'd been in the beach, and then put his shoes on. But they also, the shoes to recognise you guys who continue to inspire me, and for everyone that's going to inspire me into the future. The first part of this session is going to be a little bit difficult because I'm going to tell you a story. So I'm a passionate Ironman athlete and have been since I found Ironman at 13 years of age. You can't compete in Ironman until you're 18. My first, oh, there goes that balloon again. My very first Ironman, I was 19 years of age that I did that, and I actually had an absolute ball, and I was addicted for life. It taught me a lot as an educator, but it also taught me that I aspired to do something that I actually couldn't walk off the street to do. I had to work hard, set goals, be the best version of myself I could be, but be prepared to fail. And that failing led me to some amazing, amazing opportunities. I'm going to play you a little sound grab, and I'll tell you what it is in a minute. So that guy's Mike Riley. So Mike Riley is the voice of Iron Man, and he called me across the line in one of my Ironmans. And that sound grab is one thing. I had it on my phone for about a year before my wife said, "Can you change your ringtone? I know you're an Iron Man, but every time it rings, we don't need to be reminded." But what that did is it kept me going and kept me building. And everything that I did with education and with Iron Man, the metaphors of Iron Man with hard work, determination, putting yourself out there, but the opportunity to fail at all costs is what I took through to education. I've raced, so I'm 44 years of age, and I'm going to tell you about 3 years ago. So 3 years ago I was on top of the world. I had everything that I was wanting in life. Beautiful family, beautiful career, friends all around the world. I'd travelled overseas to an international conference and met some amazing people, and I was flying. I picked up a job in a private school that was elite as a head of PE, and absolutely thought this was the retirement job. Until 4 months later. So this is where it gets a little bit uncomfortable. 4 months later, I was coming home from a cycling ride, and I was hit by a car at about 70 kilometres per hour. And what left after that was what today's speech is all going to be about. So I was left with some pretty severe injuries. This was the result of my bike. And from this, I suffered major head injuries, major back injuries, major injuries to my hands, to my hips, to my knees. But the most important ones, or not most important ones, the ones that were hidden were damage to my brain and also to internal organs. And this was unfolding all the time while I had severe amnesia. So I lost about 6 to 10 months of my life that I just don't remember. But when I see pictures, I get this light bulb comes up and it just goes, whoa, I've just remembered something. And my wife jumps and she goes, "What do you remember?" I said, "I remember we went to a cafe." She doesn't remember that, but all of a sudden something reminds me of that. So I'm either making this crap up or it's actually really happening. Being in Hong Kong for the second time was incredible because I went through all these streets that last year, I have a memory span, it's getting better, but it wipes out the memories of about a year. So I'm going through all these streets and I'm going, I remember where I am. I was with Nathan Weaver. Where's Nathan? Give me a wave, Nathan. There he is. So I was with Nathan and we're all of a sudden, I'm with my daughter and Nathan and we get to this little beautiful egg waffle shop next to McDonald's, and I've gone, "Nathan, go to the toilet in there. You have to go to the toilet in there." And he's gone, "What? I don't need to go to the toilet." I said, "No, you've got to go check out this toilet." And I remembered there was this toilet. It was about that wide, and you had to get to the back of someone else. So if someone's standing there, you have to move yourself around them. So the flashbacks came. I'll show this picture to every single kid that will ride without a helmet. The helmet saved my life. It absolutely shattered the way it should. But without that helmet on, I was dead. So I was going to be a statistic that wouldn't be standing here today. I want to show you this note, and I only found this note 2 weeks ago. This note was written 2 weeks after my accident. So you can see by reading that things weren't right. And that was probably, finding that again reminded me of how far I've come and how far that journey had occurred. In working forward, I managed to develop a scale this year, and this was called the UR scale. It worked with being uncomfortable and the risks we actually engage in as educators. And this was really instrumental in probably my rehab without realising it. The UR scale I put down as this, and this is my actual rehab side of things. So all this time I'm back at work and doing stuff, so I didn't have a lot of time to sometimes concentrate on rehab. But I was uncomfortable on this scale for 2 years and about 2 months in everything I did: anxiety, stress, depression, a desire not to be around anyone, a withdrawal from the family, a withdrawal from friends, a shutdown of social media, a shutdown from work. I had a great job last year where I actually didn't have to be present all the time, which was really cool. I could work from home. But all the time, things were happening. So I would, this was the accident down here, but then I'd hit a pinnacle and I'd go backwards and I'd hit a pinnacle. And then all of a sudden, I travelled overseas to California for the first time last July. And from that, what I learnt was the strength of I'm back. And that notion of being I'm back was incredible. Things just took off where the energy was up, the excitement was up. I was actually really happy to be back in the classroom just teaching the kids, and they got what they deserved. They got a teacher who cared again, and a teacher that was going to inspire them and put up floating unicorns in the middle of the gym and play games with flamingos floating around the gym to really inspire them to be engaged, and obviously with my superhero characters as well for those that came to my session. But my road is still going. So then I thought, right, if we're getting uncomfortable, in life ourselves, this is going to relate to us as educators. So I flipped it, and I started to think about it, and I thought about that uncomfortable nature of us as teachers, willing to take a risk. Do we dare to go out there and do something that is going to be a chance to fail? Or do we sit back and we just be totally comfortable and just keep emotions going? Because we know, one, it's going to be easy. Two, we don't have to put ourselves out there too much at someone going, you've done the wrong thing. In each person, the actual risk changes. So it was funny, Doug this morning was talking about risk management and everything. I said to him, mate, I think our message is exactly the same. Shane just talked about being uncomfortable in that comfort zone. But if we have a low sense of uncomfortableness in school, then we have a high chance of risks. And those risks are doing stuff that is so out there that, yes, it might fail, but it's so inspirational to our kids that it becomes an addiction. Physical literacy, confidence, competence, motivation to be active for life. If we can teach a child to jump, we give them an opportunity to be involved in a sport with that skill. And we involve them if we can get them jumping higher or jumping off a platform. We get Doug jumping off a cliff. That will change from teacher to teacher because some of us will take risks, some of us will not. And that is totally your journey, your community, and yourself. You have to judge that with the kids you work on. Some of us will take a moderate, some of us will take a higher. It's totally up to you as yourselves. When I went to California, I was, I love teaching, and I used dance, but I used dance off a screen. And I taught dance that way because it was comfortable. My level of uncomfortableness and risk was right up there. I'd take a little risk and go, I'll just do just dance. But it wasn't real. It wasn't authentic. And I met Melanie Levenberg from Dance Play, and then I met Tracy today. And I was so in love with that I came back from California and I'd gone, you know what's missing? What's missing is me being a dance teacher. So I enrolled in Dance Play through Canada to actually become a dance teacher. So all of a sudden my risk was right low because I was all of a sudden putting myself in front of kids, not being a dancer at all, but learning that journey. what evolved from that was the addiction of kids all of a sudden just going, this is unbelievable, where we're chopping veggies and we're flipping pizzas and we're doing the tango with the preps last week, which is really cool. The head was up, the rose was in the mouth, and it sent such a beautiful thing to the kids that the kids were all of a sudden, the music would come on, because my playlist is a dance playlist because I have to do the exam soon. But the kids would all of a sudden be working away, and We Speak No Americano would come on. The kids are then flipping pizzas and they're jumping across the gym because they're engaged in what that says to them and the inspiration of it. I took that to assembly. And then we had 1,000 kids at assembly doing a dance symphony with parents. Well, not so much parents, teachers, sorry, not much teachers, but 1,000 kids. It was really cool. So what we ended up doing is taking a massive risk forward. And I'm wanting to challenge 4 people today to do a risk for me. And I just randomly pulled these out of Google. You know me, Google tell me. So can these people come forward? Can Reenie Brooking come forward? Can you come onto the stage? Can Stacey, can you come forward? Is Stacey still here? Yes, Google's right so far. Is Nazran, are you here, Nazran? Nazran, yay! We got 3 for 3. Come up. And see if we get 4 for 4. Is Dan here? Dan, you better be here. Is Dan here? Dan's not here. Marcus, you better come up, because Google actually had Marcus before they had Dan. So come across the stage. So what we're asking with our 4 participants today is they're going to take an unbelievable risk of faith. They have no idea what's about to happen, but you can leave your shoes on. But what I will tell you is that today, Stacey is a remote control for you guys. It's just how funny how Doug and I actually think the same thing. So Stacey's a remote control for you guys. So Stacey's going to come up with a movement pattern that when I point to Stace, switch that remote control on and you guys are going to go. When I knock Stace out, not literally, you're going to just bob down, okay? And I want you guys to bob down. Reenie is going to be the remote control for you guys at the back, okay? Same deal. So she's going to be the remote control, dance move or movement sequence. She bobs down, you guys are off. In front here in the chairs, Nazran, come across. You are the remote control for these guys down here. You're going to pull in a movement sequence. They are going to follow it. And Marcus, these guys over here are your bag, okay? Now, when I was a kid, Blues Brothers was the jam, okay? Actually had the pleasure of meeting Ray Charles in North Carolina with my father. It was so cool. But today, we're going to dance, okay? So it's to one of the amazing songs with Blues Brothers, Shake a Tail Feather. All I'm going to ask you to do, get everything out of your hands. When these guys are on, you guys are up, okay? So you go and bob down for me at the moment. All right, you guys ready? Are you ready? Take a risk. Get that uncomfortable nature out. All right, you ready? Here we go. Get the... Stace. Ready. Stace, Nazran. Nazran. Reens. Marcus down. Stace down. Nazran. Down. Reen. Marcus down, Stace. Nazran. Reens. Nazran down. Marcus. Stace. Reens. Nazran. Marcus. Stace. Reenie, Nazran, Marcus. Stay up. Nice work, everybody. Ready? Stace down. Nazran! Stay down! hands. Yeah, here we go. Down, down. Marcus, Nazran, Bree, Stace. Nice work, everybody. Good job. Stay there for me. Stay there for me. 1, 2, 3. Take 1, 2, 3. Down, hop down, hop down. Stay up, Marcus. Stay up, Mark. You know this song. One of the most annoying in the world. Little one, little one. You can be. We'll knock the stage over. Yeah! Great work, great work. So the ability for us to take a risk, be completely uncomfortable, is only completely up to you. Thank you so much for today, and hopefully you guys can take that risk back to your school.